Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be back here with my very good friend Neville.
Hey up, Norm, and greeting to the comrades watching at home. I'm very much so excited for today's topic.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, it's something that I imagine is very close to you, Neville, because you almost moved there. Today, we're going to be talking about CHOP uh, and what it will look like in 10 years.
Chop?
Oh, you may know it as CHAZ, but for the purposes of this video, we can use either of the two names interchangeably.
Right, well that's interesting because I might have read a Bees Foot article about that.
Yeah, I've made a bunch of stuff about the CHAZ, CHOP, whole thing. And, I know that you almost went there, right?
Yeah, but that was until my dumb dad said I couldn't go.
Dude, that's lame. Well, you can vent about your dads later. I think we should just get this thing started, don't you? So, if you're like me, you've been following CHAZ CHOP for weeks, but if you're not like me, there's a lot of things you've missed in this time. If you're completely lost in what the whole CHAZ CHOP thing is, I suggest that you watch Neval's videos, which will be in the description below with a playlist, and also read some of the BuzzFeed articles we've wrote about them.
I'm not going to go into the whole nitty gritty details and specifics here, but let's face it, I was almost the king of Chaz. That was until my dad decided not to let me go. Uh, I guess the first thing we could do is explain why some people call it Chaz, others call it Chop, and how they're actually the same thing.
Yeah, as I stated, uh, Chaz sort of it needed a rebrand. It had a lot of power, being the autonomous zone, but as the autonomous zone, it sort of gave the U.S. government the ability to kind of trample over them. But now that it's CHOP, which is the Capitol Hill occupied protest, as an occupied protest, it has way more rights.
Oh, so it's kind of like occupying Wall Street now, but obviously cooler and with really advanced farming skills. I can't believe how they're able to set up these farms with such little resources. It's absolutely a win for recycling, and they're even going as far as to use cardboard of all things for planting. I even heard that they grow weed and potatoes.
Yeah, more than that, they grow tomatoes too. One of the things I think is awesome about CHOP is that they're more than just vegan friendly. They're just vegan at this point. Shop is a perfect example of what can happen when you just let a bunch of people make a community without sort of the involvement of a racist, bigoted government.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Without the influence of the racist American government, they wouldn't have been able to make this wonderfully diverse and super inclusive community. Even this early on, they've done so much to make this thriving little hamlet, and I honestly can't wait to see what Chop will look like in 10 years' time. But wait a minute, that's not really the point of this video.
Uh, I mean, yeah, it is. The title of the video is going to be like, "What Chaz Shop will look like in 10 years." It is the point of the video, Neva.
Oh, hype. All this talk of the present is getting boring. Let's go to the future part.
All right, let's get to the future, Chaz.
Well, there's so much that Chop will be able to build that will set it apart from other non-ethnically diverse cities. I mean, they already have quiet spaces available, and I'm sure that in 10 years' time they will set up areas where the more emotionally compromised folks, like myself for example, can cry in peace. Unlike at home with my stupid dads who don't care about how much I cry about wanting to go to Chop.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest reasons that Chop is going to be, so lit in the future is because there's going to be no stinky dads there telling you what you can and can't do. I mean, it's real freedom. I think that's, the biggest reason why I'm excited for the future of Chop. I sort of see it as the future of freedom. And, also I think that, Joe Biden will be able to come at least once a week for ice cream Sundays, fun days, don't you think?
Oh, oh yes, yes. I bet Joe Biden will visit at least once a week. And we can have him come to our poetry readings. I've written so many poems. I also feel like I will feel safe sharing my poems because I know that Chop is going to be a troll-free zone.
Yeah, I mean, with how racially diversity is going in Chop so far, like the future is definitely going to have no trolls and no bigots. I mean, how would trolls even survive in a Chop society? I don't even think that's possible. Chop will also be vegan, and I'm sure that without all those meathead Joe Rogan trolls there, like they would just starve if they tried to come. I mean, while we're going to be laughing eating our kale chips, it's really going to be a utopia, don't you think?
I'm really excited for the future of journalism in CHOP. From what I've already seen from the CHAZ Discord server, it seems that people there really care about the press and the freedom of press.
Yeah, and I've also noticed that I get a lot of really good feedback on my articles for Chop. I think that Chop will sort of be the new safe haven for journalists like us who just want to speak their mind, with no bigots being mean to us or anything.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, who knows where journalism would be in 10 years without CHOP? I can't help but feel like it could turn into a haven for freedom of press. Just because they're already pushing for important rule changes to limit gendered language and xenophobic hate speech, they get in the way of us telling people the news and spreading the truth.
Yeah, I really think that we kind of have to put all of our power and all our influence as journalists into Chop here because, we'll be able to show the world using Chop as our example. The power that comes from having complete autonomy from the police. It's our duty as journalists, I think, to raise Chop onto this pedestal and to show America this new model of society, this first real ethical society that there's ever been.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And in return, CHOP can return the favor by becoming the ideal environment for journalists like us. There's going to be this really amazing symbiotic relationship between CHOP and journalists, and I honestly can't wait for the next 10 years to see how this fusion of sustainable, ethical, police-free communities and journalism turns out.
Yeah, I think that we can all just wait to see it play out. I mean, everyone's on the edge of their seats. I know at least I am, especially when it had such a good start. It's just like the farming. You know, how could a society fail if they're able to turn, if they're able to have such a solid foundation of cardboard, sweat, and the ideals of sustainability? It's too good to fail at this point, don't you think?
Now, it's evident to everyone that CHOP has already done so much to help modernise farming while keeping it local and sustainable. I mean, just how much have they done in these last couple of weeks that would make anyone really excited for the future of CHOP farming?
I mean, honestly, I think it's more than just the future of chop farming. I think it's the future of farming in general, At this point, it's just when the world sees how farming can work locally in these urban centers, there'll be no going back to the sort of dated till method. It's the future of farming is in these no-till greenhouses. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and CHOP will be able to do greenhouse farming while decreasing greenhouse emissions. It's a win-win. Plus, with the superior farming tactics, it'll be easier to have vegan cities. The potential for meat-free zones just makes my mouth water.
Yeah, I mean, a chop future is a vegan future. Like I feel like the two are interconnected at this point. You know, I think we're going to look back on the vegans of today and be appalled by the sort of shaky ethics that the sort of farming that fuels their veganism is sort of based on. A chop vegan, in my opinion, is a real vegan. If you're a vegan and you don't support chop, you're not a real vegan because chop farming is the first, and I say the first with utmost, brevity. They're the first slave-free farming style. I mean, today, do you know how many people are paid sub-livable wages to get you just a banana?
Far too many. And that's why I'm looking forward to 2030, where CHOP-style urban farming will change the way we think of potatoes and weed. And like all the other vegetables they can grow as well.
Yeah, it's really something to look forward to. Yeah, I think that the future of chop is really a bright one. And honestly, I'm going to put all my eggs in this chop basket. I feel like if this works out here, there's then we'll have a game plan that we can use to fix America.
Oh, America sure needs fixing. And I'm sure we'll be able to use all of the chop/CHAZ teachings all over the world to do it.
Yeah, I really hope so. Well, I hope you guys like our sort of 2030 chop projections. Make sure you tell us in the comments sort of where you see chop in 10 years and your sort of predictions. Make sure to keep it civil. I do have my finger on the block button, and keep it within the scope of reality. Let's not have any crazy flying car stuff. But remember, we are chop. We are CHAZ, and the future relies on our positive thinking and progressive ideas.
If that is the case, I'm going to be positive thinking progressive ideas really hard.
Yeah, I know that we all will, and I hope that everyone has had a fantastic day. Thank you so much, Neva, for coming. Link to the Bees Fud CHAZ section and a CHAZ Chop playlist on Nevile's channel in the description. Thank you so much for coming, Neva.
Thanks for having me, Norm. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.